Hey man, shout out to Plutoski. Shout out to oh, I can't hear you, family. Let me make sure you get your mic right. I can't hear you. Still can't hear. Let me see. There you go.
Yeah, that's better. All right.
All right, all right, man, shout
Shout
out
out
to
to the fire marshal, Super Future, Hendrix.
hey. He's not. We're past the Hendrick phase. We're back to Pluto.
That boy
Pluto was
said he
gone.
surf. That boy said he's surfing on the tsunami.
There's some people that
I
just say.
like that.
There's just some people that say things that nobody else can say.
I like that.
We'll
Surfing
get
on the
back.
tsunami. It's so amazing.
We'll get back to that a little bit later. But wow, I say this every week. I feel like it's the same. It's kind of repetitive at this point. This is the best week of sports we've had yet. It's October. Y'all know what that means. Playoff baseball. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like
And
it. Nothing like it.
I think playoff baseball is different from other sports because, like, you watch the basketball year round, you watch football year round. Even the people that watch baseball are not so, you know, one game means nothing in baseball. In the NFL,
But
every
then in the
game
last day, it can mean everything. That's the crazy. That's
also
baseball.
in the NFL, every game means everything. And even in basketball, sometimes that one game might mean, Lakers lose to Orlando. Not too much mean, but baseball is 162, if I'm not
One
mistaken.
sixty two. Yeah.
One
One
sixty-two.
sixty two in 180 days.
Right. So, you know, those wins and losses, yes, they add up at the end of the day, but like, you're not tripping off. If you have a doubleheader, you lose game one, you just come back for game two and try to win. You're not paying too much attention. You're playing the same team 4 or 5 times in a, 4 or 5 day span. But when it comes to October, man, you don't have to like baseball, but October, it's something you pay attention
Locked
to.
in.
And we have our final four, right? We got the Dodgers, we have the Mets, the Yankees, and then who's the last team?
So we got five technically because we
Uh,
still got the Guardians in Detroit. They're
okay,
headed into Game 5.
yeah. And I
So
mean,
two.
and every baseball playoffs is just great as it can be, right? But
It
this
gives
year,
you everything you're looking for every time.
I think we have great storylines this year, though, right? Obviously, the LA Dodgers, Mookie and Shohei, 55, 55, or 50 and 50. Aaron Judge, also another MVP, right? And then we have
Also, who hit 50 something home runs this year too.
okay, so the possibilities for the World Series we can have are just beautiful.
But see, there's more storylines than that though. Check this out, right? So the Detroit Tigers are probably the best storyline in baseball right now.
And why is that?
Uh, because when August started, they were 10 games under 500.
Mm,
And so since August, it really the second half of the All Star break, All Star game was July 16th this year. Since the second half of the season, the Detroit Tigers have by far been the best team in baseball. I do believe at the break they were 15 games under 500 at the All Star break. I think, and last place in the division, the AL Central. Oh, excuse me, second to last place because the Chicago White Sox were the worst team in all
yo,
of sports
did
this
those
year.
guys have 100 losses? Did I see that
100
correctly?
plus, brother. They lost the most in baseball history. I think they lost 113.
I've never seen a team with 100 plus losses in one category. That's insane.
No, no, but see, they did it. The way they did it was so filthy. But anyway, so the Tigers, they were, you know, if the Chicago White Sox were a competent team, then the White Sox and the Tigers would probably have been in the same range, 15, 20 games under. But for them to go from that point at 15 games under at the All Star break to ending up still in a wild card spot, best record in baseball the second half. I think they in the second half, I think they finished 25 games over
Hmm.
500. You know what I'm saying? So that's a what plus 10 swings. So they sneak into the playoffs. Hottest team in baseball got the AL Cy Young winner. That's projected. Tarik Skubal, even though it's Tarik. What's that spell to you, Caps?
Tariq.
There it is. But he a white boy and his name Tariq. It's spelled Tariq,
You don't hear too many white guys named Tariq or Tark as you
but it's
just
Tarik.
explained
You know what I'm
it.
saying? So Tarik Skubal, and he's nice. They really after him though, it's kind of shaky with their pitching. So they got a lot of guys. They put together a lot of they call it a starter, and then it'll just be a whole bunch of bullpen guys. But
And I want to make sure I get this right. If I'm not mistaken, the last I think 6 baseball playoffs, the team with a bye week has lost in their series. The
yeah, so
first,
like that first round bye is critical in
yeah.
baseball.
So
Like
I think that's a
it's not
hot
like
topic
football.
right now on in baseball. Teams getting that first round bye are kind of out of rhythm. Just because like history for the last 5 or 6 years have shown that team with that first round bye has been losing that series, and I think I also saw that the 6 seed in the last couple of years has more than like or last 3 or 4 years has made the World Series,
Yeah.
maybe on
So
either
I
side.
do
The 16.
believe I think last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers meeting in the World Series, I think Texas was like a 5 and Arizona was a 6.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So like baseball, when you get that bye, right, you think it's a 3-game series, best of 3, that wild card, those last 2 wild card spots they play. And it's like whoever wins that, because baseball is a game that you play every day, they're
Mhm.
still in their rhythm. And usually those 2 teams are usually kind of like the Detroit Tigers, where usually hot coming in because, those last 3 wild card spots now, they added that recently. I think that was maybe 2 years ago, maybe
Mhm.
COVID year probably, I think. But they added those extra wild cards. But so when you get in that game, they're still rolling. They play like the last game is Sunday of the year, 162 for everybody, and then they'll play Monday and keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? Now they're in their best of 3 series, and then whoever wins goes to the ALDS, which is a best of 5. And then when you get to the when you get to the championship series, then it's best of 7, and then the World Series best of 7. But it's I mean, another great story. The New York Mets, they were a similar team. You know, the division was it was supposed well, when we got to the All-Star break, it was Philadelphia and it was Atlanta. But Atlanta dealt with a lot of injuries all year long,
Right.
and they fell off. And then the Mets got hot at the right time. Francisco Lindor. If it wasn't for Shohei Ohtani, he would be the NL MVP. He's having a great
Right.
year. He's having
True.
an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
But so it's a lot of Bryce Harper and the boys. They gone.
And
They
I know
got
we
back.
and that was kind of your sleeper team a little bit that you said to look out for.
Yeah.
Obviously they have Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos as well.
And if you don't
They
know,
have,
we talking about the Philadelphia Phillies.
yeah, and they have big play. They have the players to compete with the other big players that there are. But obviously, I think it just, baseball is a weird sport. Anybody can get hot at any time.
Yeah, for sure.
It's who you least expect. Maybe your fourth or fifth day pitcher just starts cooking, or that guy, that sixth hitter, just starts swinging at bat. And you just never
And
know
now
in
with the
baseball,
universal DH, it could be the 9. You never know.
bro. That's what I'm saying. Like in baseball, obviously, there's a lot of teams that have tremendous players, but it's these players that you're not familiar with. For example, Teoscar Hernandez. Obviously, the LA Dodgers have Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith. I mean, and then Teoscar is the one who comes through in more than one game and hits multiple homers. And Ohtani, he wasn't as great as we expected him to be. um,
So
but
real
he had.
quick,
Mhm.
Oscar hit one, Kike hit another, so they both Hernandez.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And it's just like, and I think did Will Smith also have one in this series? I'm pretty sure he did, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
do believe so. I think
I think he
was
did.
maybe game 1, either game 1 or game
But Yeah, and it's just who you least expect in baseball. You never know. And then I don't know, the Dodgers, they have two of the five best players in the major leagues, maybe two of the best three. I know
Nah,
you.
bro. I'm gonna be honest. They have like, cause Freddie Freeman, like you can't, he was just the MVP a
Mhm.
couple years ago. So
Yeah,
his
I
last
mean,
year in
and
Atlanta,
and,
he was
and
the MVP.
and you know, I think the pressure has been super heavy on the Dodgers just
Yeah.
because of what they've done this year. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, like you said, Freddie Freeman is still one of the best at his position, also one of the best hitters, and then Mookie Betts, who's just an athlete,
Unbelievable.
of rare breed. So I think,
And then of course it's like their payroll too. You know what I'm saying? Like baseball
oh
is a
yeah,
game
Clayton
that like
Kershaw as well. Let's
you know
not
what I'm
forget
saying.
about
He's
him.
heavy on the payroll. Walker Bueller's
Exactly.
heavy on the payroll. They just went and
Yep.
got Yoshinobu Yamamoto,
Yep.
and he just pitched. I mean, he just got what I think 200 million to sign as a free agent. So he pitched today.
And I think this
Pitched well
is
too.
Yeah, and I think this is a huge series win because the Padres aren't any slouches. There's plenty
No,
of big dogs on the Padres. You
yeah, big money
Darvish,
over there too.
yeah, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, like they have the players
Bogarts
to.
Bogarts got a big
Yep,
bag.
yep, and they have the players to compete. Do you think the Dodgers are able to take it all the way there? Obviously, you know, you still have the New York Mets. I think Pete Alonso is just one of the best hitters in the league still, regardless of the numbers. Obviously, Aaron Judge, and Juan Soto as well on that other side. The names are starting to come together, and we're looking at a big showdown. And we talked about storylines a little bit earlier. We can get, you know, Shohei versus Aaron Judge,
Right.
two of the best seasons we've ever seen in the last however many years you want to say, because both of these guys have been something we we feel like we haven't seen before. But you can also get, you know, the Mets versus the Yankees, the Battle of New York.
Subway
Um,
Series.
yeah, and it's like, you know, those are, and this is no disrespect to the Detroit Tigers, or are they playing the Guardians? Is that correct?
Yeah.
The Detroit Tigers and the Guardians. Obviously, there's still a chance there, but I think obviously with the Subway Series possibility, and then Judge versus Otani as well. Um, you know, this is entertainment at the end of the day, and I don't think it gets any better than those two possible matchups uh, for the World Series. What do you think? Who do you think that matchup will ultimately be?
Honestly, I'm really torn, right? Because I want Detroit to run the table just because they're the best story,
Hmm.
right? And then that'll take it back to the Colorado Rockies. I think that was 2005. It's the year the Red Sox won the World. Yeah, it was the year the Red Sox won the World Series for the first time. They broke
Hmm.
the curse of the Bambino. Well, not for the first time, but it's just a curse. But I would like to see, the best story make the run, the Cinderella get all the way to the World Series, and then, we get a game seven. Um, so that means on the other side, I would like to see the Mets, but that's the matchup I would like to see.
Oh,
Um,
and we talked about it a couple of days ago. I don't think there's anything better I want to see than Edwin Diaz coming out that
yeah,
coming out that dugout with that theme music
with
playing,
that Trump with them trumpets
with them trumpets, with them
going,
lights out, them flashlights up, and slow trotting to that mound in the
yeah,
World Series. I think
we need
that's just
that,
cinema. Hey, I think outside of baseball, that's just cinematography right there. That's
bro.
cinema.
It's real deal cinema, though, right?
That's
Like
real cinema. Edwin Diaz, like,
when they got the cameraman that's running behind them, and like he's
bro.
running out, and it's like low key dark, but the lights flashing and the trumpets and the crowd's going insane. The crowd's going insane.
I kind of, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I kind of think closer personalities died a little bit after Mariano. Edwin Diaz bring
We
it.
haven't had like a true great. I mean, but I mean Mariano was so unbelievable. He was the
Yes,
first. He was
yes.
the first unanimous
I'm
Hall of
talking.
Famer.
I'm just talking as far as personalities
But you're
within the
right though. Like
closers.
there hasn't been one that the general public is familiar with since Mariano Rivera.
Exactly, and I
Yeah,
think Edwin Diaz just like he's bringing that feel back to a closer. Like
yeah,
even if you're just a casual baseball watcher, you're gonna watch those last two innings, right?
yeah.
Those last 40, 50 pitches, whatever that count is. And I think that would just be something to see in a World Series.
Hey,
And
them trumpets go stupid.
man,
But did you see they have dude out there playing the trumpet?
bro, like I
He's
said,
standing on the dugout below. He's playing the trumpet, standing on. It's crazy, bro. He get out
this
there
is
with the. They put the mic on the trumpet. He.
right, and you see other closers trying to steal his swag, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
so
like
whack. Like, stop it,
you
bro.
don't have
Stop
it.
it, bro.
Edwin Diaz has it.
And then he
What?
comes in and shut it down.
Yeah, and then he closes out. He's a really good closer as well.
But see,
Um,
a better story with that, right? He missed all of last year because he blew his knee out. He blew his knee out in the World Baseball Classic
mm,
after he had got a close. He had just closed the game for. I do believe he was playing for the Dominican Republic,
mhm.
and he had just closed, and they were celebrating, jumping. He blew his knee out,
Hey, and
and
did
so
you
he
see?
missed. So that was like because the World Baseball Classic, that's like beginning of April. It's around spring break. It's the same time as college spring break.
And
So he missed the whole 2022 season, 2023 season because that was then, and so he just getting back this year.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but after he closed the series out, he was like, "No jumping. We're not
No,
doing any jumping. Let's
no
shake hands.
jumping, bro. No
Let's
jumping.
keep it calm. Let's keep it calm."
We shaking hands like
So,
he probably not jumping again until they win the World Series, and then he'll jump and be like, whatever happens, happens. Like,
so we have it's a lot to look forward to. Still a lot of baseball left, and I think we're going. I think regardless of who's in it, I think we're getting a great World Series because
oh, it's gonna be jumping.
there's stars and stories everywhere. And for me in sports, and especially in championship series or games, you have to have stars and stories. Like that's what sells. That's entertainment. That's what we want to see.
Right now, the only team left that doesn't have a Hall of Famer on it as of right now is the Detroit Tigers. Every other team left has a Hall of Fame bona fide.
So, like I said, I think it's gonna be because either we're gonna see Otani, we're gonna see the Tigers or the Guardians, or we're gonna see Alonso or Judge or Edwin Diaz. There's plenty of names, popular names in baseball. Somebody will be in that series that we want to see. I definitely want to see Otani close this season out, one of the greatest seasons we ever seen. And I think it would be. I think that obviously the Dodgers spent a fortune on their players,
Yeah,
and I'm sure it
so
would be
much money,
great. It
bro.
would be not only did the Dodgers, the Yankees also spent a fortune on their players.
Yeah.
But
The
those
Mets too
guys,
now. Lindor got a bag.
yeah,
Pete
Lindor,
Alonso. Pete
yeah,
Alonso about to hit free agency this year. So
yeah. He's gonna go for 500, probably 400.
no.
You don't think so?
Not 500. Not 500. Pete Alonso. He'll probably do 275, 320 between 375 and
That's
325.
that. I'm not an expert, bro. That sounds a little low to me.
Nah, brother.
Um,
Nah. Cause okay. We got to start with if we want to really. Do we want to get into that or no?
not too crazy,
All right. So
but
like
I understand
Otani,
he's still
right?
one of the big.
Otani 700 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Possibly greatest player ever. Um, then we go down, boom, Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is probably at 350, 360.
Do you feel like that's a low ball for Mookie though?
No, because he signed a deal he signed a deal with the Dodgers. That was 2019 or 2020.
Yeah. You don't think he's? Do you think he's worth more than that?
I mean, yeah, but
Okay.
I mean he's not the best player on the team right now. So it's like and it's
There's
tough
no there, but
because
there's
if
no.
he played on any other team, he'd be the best player on the team.
Yeah, there's no cap. There's no cap uh, limit or cap space or cap
Nah,
room or whatever. So
nah. So like Mookie Betts is like I said, probably about 360. Um, I think Mike Trout's probably he might be 400, maybe.
What is
So
Bryce Harper?
Bryce Harper's at 363. I think that's what he was at. So you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
Like
so
Pete
I think
Alonso's not getting more bread than Bryce Harper. I don't care
yeah,
about
no,
inflation.
yeah.
I don't care about inflation because Lindor's already getting 300.
Lindor's getting 300.
Yeah, Lindor was the star in Cleveland.
Yeah, okay.
He was multi-time All-Star, and I think he might have won an MVP in Cleveland.
He's very good.
That's what I'm saying. Lindor is really the guy. He's the guy.
100%. There's no.
I mean, they won 4-1. He had a grand slam
bro. He's not. He's
and
not.
didn't celebrate and just ran around the
We're
bases.
not. We're not shocked about how good he is. He's been good for a long time. So this is not like a super surprise or nothing like that. Let's stay on the topic of championships, though. The Lynx first to Liberty.
We got real hoops going on.
We have tremendous hoops going on. I think Asia Wilson deserved to win MVP this year.
Yeah.
But Nafisa Collier.
Shout out to the Loop.
Hey, is she just as good as Asia Wilson? That's not a bad.
She close.
She's very close because she has put up tremendous numbers throughout this playoffs.
Well, she had 5 blocks the other night.
Bro, she had a game in the playoffs, 42 points and 16 rebounds. And so
definitely did that.
she's
one
just
of those ones.
She's just as good as anybody in the league, I think. And then she's still doing it on the big stage as well. I think also the Liberty, I don't know if they're cursed or what. It's about time they win them one, but I don't know, they just keep running into some dogs, man.
Brianna Stewart had the opportunity there. She blew the free throw.
Then you can't foul on the 3-pointer, and then you know what I mean? Like,
oh, that's goofy.
That's crazy stuff. But I feel like obviously I think the Liberty has the advantage, but for some reason, if you're on a team with Stewie and Sabrina, right? Those are probably two of the best 5 or 10 players in the league. And this is just a time you have to get it done at this level. I do think
I think the problem is they don't have the best player on the court, bro. Like
that's exactly what it is.
They don't have the. And sometimes, like in basketball, when you don't have the best player on the court, you can lose.
Yeah, very easily too. And if you have that best player and you're not containing them in any way, or you're not being contained, I should say, it's gonna be very difficult for that other team to win ball games.
And it's not like Nafisa went off. I mean, she went 10 to 16, had 21 points. You know what I'm saying? She was the third leading scorer on the team, though.
Mm-hmm.
But she was efficient.
And then, but you let other people,
boards.
I mean, you can't let the other players get cooking at the same time.
Kayla McBride, 6 of 11, 22 points.
You can't allow that.
4 of 7 from Trey.
You can't allow that. And then you let somebody hit.
Courtney Williams had 23.
Yeah, you let them hit 2 shots in crunch time. And you foul them on.
She averaged 11. She had 23.
You have to keep those other players where they're usually at. Like if you have somebody that averages 12, you can't allow them to go for 20. Especially if Nafisa's not giving you 30 and 15. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's not looking good for the Liberty to me. The Lynx definitely have the momentum here. But I think the Liberty still have Sabrina and they have Brianna Stewart as well. So
and
I'm never going to
Jones too.
Exactly. I'm never going to count them out as a whole, but I think the momentum is definitely swinging Minnesota Lynx way, and I think they have the best player on the court. And throughout this playoffs, I don't think it's close. I don't think anybody on the Liberty has been playing maybe a half as good as she has through the last 10 or 15 games.
Nafisa Collier's on a whole nother level right now, bro. She's on a whole nother level.
But she's been tremendous all year.
Yeah.
and she's on that offensive end. She's unguardable. There's not much you can do with that. So me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards the Lynx finishing that series and closing that series out. But when you have, like I said, the two players on Liberty, not the two, but the three players on the Liberty, it's not safe to count them out, right? But I'm not convinced. They're not moving me right now.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I'm seeing eye to eye with you on this one. I just, first of all, like we said, Nafisa was the third leading scorer tonight,
Hmm.
10 of 16 from the field, which is
That's
a,
tremendous.
s- a really good day
Hmm.
for most people. Um, but when you're Nafisa Collier and you're gonna end up second, well, I think you ended up second in MVP and you averaged 20 a game. It's not like you really went off, but you still get the win, the team win by executing late and capitalizing on your opponent's mistakes. Now you're opening the door for the Nafisa Collier 42 and 16 game. That's inevitable. So
It's
now
coming at some
what
point.
do you do with that? And
Yeah.
then it's another day she's probably gonna have what 28, 29, 30, 32, somewhere around there. That's probably, I mean, that's 3 wins right there.
You just can't allow if a team scores 95 points, you can't allow 66 between three players. You know what I mean? I think it's kind of written right there, right? If that's the case, like y'all know exactly who y'all need to stop. And I think the Liberty had they scored their scoring was pretty spread out. Breonna Stewart with 18, John Cole Jones, like you mentioned, with 24, Sabrina with 19, and they all well, Sabrina went 8 for 26. You got to shoot better than that.
Yeah,
But other than that,
that's not gonna get the job done.
yeah. But other than that, like
The Brianna and Stewie was what 6 of 21.
6 to 21, that's not very good shooting. Um, so they
That's
definitely
not very good. No, sir, that is not very good shooting.
yeah, it's not. They definitely gotta shoot better than that. But I don't know. I'm sure game one in the finals is always like a fill out game, but you don't have time to do that. You can't waste these moments and in these games. If you're supposed to win a game, you can't allow the other team to steal it.
No, you're absolutely right. And I mean, but the thing is, the series doesn't start until a home team loses. So
Yeah.
once a
So
road team steals a win, once a road team steals a win, that's when things really get cracking.
okay. So we had maybe I'm a prisoner. I'm always a prisoner of the moment. I
Yeah,
got
you are.
recency. Yeah, I got recency bias. All that bad stuff. We had maybe the craziest week of college football we've seen in years this past weekend.
And we
Uh,
thought Georgia versus Bama was crazy,
we had Alabama lose to Vanderbilt, which we've never said.
brother.
Those words have never came. That sentence has never been formed in the last. I
I
don't
think
know since
40,
since
40 games.
since Nick Saban was there. Those words have never been formed. We had
Oh,
Alabama.
never.
We had number one Alabama lose to Vanderbilt in Nashville. We had Tennessee lose number four Tennessee. We had them lose to Arkansas, and then we had Missouri lose to Texas A&M. Three top 10 teams went down in the SEC. Not only that, right? We had two uh, Big Ten teams go down as well. Michigan losing to Washington, and then who was the other Big Ten team that
USC lost.
USC lost to? Who did they lose to?
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Um, that's just a crazy as crazy as a week as it could be. Honestly, I think Alabama Vanderbilt was the biggest upset because I've never seen a team have such a great win and then have such a bad loss immediately after.
It made
Right?
no sense, bro.
You beat Georgia, 7 days later you lose to Vanderbilt. And that's that. Yo, that sentence sounds crazy, right? Because I don't think there's a
That
me
doesn't even
personally.
make any sense.
I don't think there's a better description of college football than that. Right? You beat the number one team in the nation, then you lose to Vanderbilt's not even a rival. They're you
It
they
was say, what's my boy name? I do believe it's Diego
Pavia
Raiola.
Pavia
Pavia. That's my fault. That's my
Diego
fault. Diego
Pavia.
Pavia.
Vanderbilt for Vanderbilt Alabama. I mean for Alabama, Vanderbilt is one of them automatic wins you kind of check off every year. But this is college
Every
football,
year.
bro. There's never
Bro,
been a
they whooped them so bad. Nick Saban really said that on TV. He
bro.
was like, he said everywhere is tough to play. This was maybe 4 weeks ago, bro. He was on McAfee show. He said it's every place you play in the SEC is tough to play, except for Vanderbilt, because half the fans are yours. They're here to see Alabama.
Bro, and if you're just an avid ball watcher, um, Vanderbilt is not have like big crowds every game. They're not selling out every game. You know what I'm
No,
saying? That's just
they was
like that's
working on their
just
stadium during the season. Like,
bro. That's a Vanderbilt football game just something to do when there's nothing to do in Nashville. No disrespect to them, but
shout out to
man,
Diego Pavia.
he played a hell of a game. Hey, and I texted you.
He cooked.
I said that coach let his fucking nuts hang, bro. Fourth and one, and you throw a fucking bomb.
Bombed you.
You throw a bomb on fourth and you need 1 yard, and you throw a 50-yard touchdown. Oh man, but it's like in those.
That's what I said. Oh, this game is not looking good. I said this is looking real bad for Alabama.
But you got to think too. In those moments, you have nothing to lose. Vanderbilt's not winning no natty this year.
They ain't making the playoff.
This
They ain't even
this is
sniffing the
the
playoff.
this is Vanderbilt's national championship right here in Vandy,
Hey,
and it's
hey, hey,
like,
next day, Diego tweet talk about some all NIL inquiries hit this email. I said,
you
yeah,
have
he's going
to, bro.
bananas.
And he talked that talk. He walked that walk, bro. I can't even be mad at it. Um, and I don't know, man, because it's like as a if you're taking over right after Nick Saban, right? You're looking great.
That's the
You
worst job ever, bro.
It's the worst job, but you start off 4-0. You beat Georgia. Fifth game, you turn around and lose to
Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
We say you beat Georgia. Now everybody look like you're the guy. You're
You're the
actually the
guy.
guy.
You're next up. You're the perfect fit, and then you turn around and lose to Vanderbilt. Like I said, it's just
Now they
like,
want your head.
bro, you don't lose as a Bama coach. You just don't lose to Vanderbilt.
I
A
got a question
loss
for you,
to
bro.
what's up?
How much you think Vanderbilt lose to Kentucky by tonight?
Oh man. Oh, man. Hey, and Kentucky's a good football team. So,
You think?
um,
Oh, now Kentucky's a good football team. Wow. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
I didn't. Yeah, no. I didn't believe it at first. They,
Hey,
but they're,
what do you say? Hey,
but look,
chat. What do you say? Hey, chat.
they're three. They're what are they? Are they
I'll show
4-1
you the
or three
text.
and two?
I'll show you the text message chat. Don't worry about it.
Are they 4-1? I look. I had a long conversation about the SEC with my good friend. I think the
By the way,
SEC
both teams
is
are 3-2, Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
okay. I think the SEC is overrated. Um, Simply because a lot of the team, like it's just not dominant. Like it's just because a couple teams beat a couple other teams in the SEC, that doesn't make the SEC so great. Vanderbilt is beating Alabama, Arkansas is beating Tennessee. I don't think the gap is that big in the SEC. A lot of teams are closer than they are further apart.
All right. So,
And
but my thing is, right? Check this out. My argument with that is, I would say that Arkansas and Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, those teams beat Minnesota. I think those teams beat Iowa. I think those teams beat Purdue,
I I I don't because
Indiana.
I don't because I don't think the teams that they beat are that much better. LSU is not that great. Ole Miss is not that great, but it's the SEC. First of all, so my first point is Obviously, the SEC and Big Ten are the top dogs. The Big 12 is whack. Pac 12 doesn't exist. The ACC is horrible. Let's get that out the way. So they're only left with two choices here, and that's the SEC or the Big Ten. Um,
What did he say? The Pac-12 is
and
whack.
no, I said the Big 12 is whack. The Pac 12 don't exist. The Pac 12
Oh, the Big
is
12 is whack.
obsolete.
My fault. My fault. The Big 12 is whack.
And it's like, bro, the two best teams out of the Big 12 now live in the SEC.
Facts.
um,
And that's why
so
I
it's
say
like,
you can't like you can't say the SEC is not good when Texas is now in the SEC. Like that's just what it
but
is.
I think that's another issue for me. You let an outsider walk in your conference and take over that motherfucker, bro. You let a nigga
They
walk in
was
there.
gonna be one wherever they was at.
Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
They was gonna be one wherever
Okay,
they was
that
at.
okay.
If they would have
And
came up there, they would be one.
listen,
They would be
listen, listen,
one.
listen. That's a fair statement. It looks bad though when a nigga walk in your trap and take over your trap. Your statement could be
That's just crazy.
100% true, but a nigga walk and he beat your ass the year before in your shit. He beat Alabama the year
Well,
before.
he said he ain't made the off stuff. See ya.
So
See ya.
so there's a lot of SEC apologists. Before SEC is big and bad, nobody could come to the SEC and run the SEC. We watching niggas right now in live time come to the SEC and run the SEC. That's my issue with the SEC, bro. And so obviously I feel strongly about this because I had a lot of opinions. And my friend said, "Oh, look at the SEC." Last week it was, "Oh, the SEC got 5 of the top 10, 4 of the top 10." What the fuck happened? Tennessee went down, Alabama went down, Missouri went down, all in the same week. This can't be the SEC you talking about, brother.
All right, Alabama's
And
still
if
gonna be
you
in the top 10 though.
be, they sure will. I think Alabama's a top 10 team. Don't I think
I
Alabama and
think the
Georgia
other
are
two, the other two be touching 20 something.
I think Alabama and Georgia are top 5 teams. Never confuse that. But I also think Ohio State, probably Oregon. Oregon, I think Oregon's not top 5. I think they're a top 10 team. Um, and I think if Michigan had a halfway decent quarterback, they could
Well,
easily
they
be top
don't.
10 because they
So
have one of the better.
well,
They don't.
they don't.
They don't. And so, yeah, no, I'm not even gonna go on hypotheticals. But I would Ohio State. I think Oregon will both. Ohio State is in my opinion the top 2 team.
Bro, I don't
Um,
think Oregon is really like a
I
top
don't.
15 team, but they just haven't lost in their
They
Oregon.
haven't, but like I can't convincingly say, oh, there's 10 better teams in Oregon after what we saw last week, right? I can't say that with
I'll still
confidence.
I'll still put Ole Miss over Oregon. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yo,
Because I think Arkansas will be Oregon. Straight up. I do.
I can't see it.
Why? They got a better quarterback.
They do have a better quarterback.
All right then.
That's
So
it though.
if you got equal line play and a better quarterback,
Hmm.
you can't win.
Do I think it's possible? Yes. Do I think it will
Oregon
happen?
got better skill players, but
I think Oregon will still win that game, and but also Arkansas is still a
bro,
good. I think
Oregon could not stop Boise State, bro. And I know they got the Heisman Trophy winner, but they could not stop Boise State.
yeah, no, Oregon is not as bad as you're making them out to be.
Their quarterback
And
is good,
Arkansas is
bro.
not. I agree, but like
Like I can't say your
the
team's
SEC,
good. Like when you out there, nah, dog.
bro,
He looked like how Penny. All right, check this out. He looked like Kenny Pickett, don't he?
Dylan Gabriel?
Yes, like he looks like Kenny Pickett did in Pittsburgh, but he putting up more yards because
That's
this Oregon and the boys
that's
were
a
running wide open.
that's a that's a strong statement, brother.
Just saying,
I don't
bro.
think he's
Like
the great. I don't think he's the greatest, but but too, I do. Arkansas quarterback is amazing to me. I think he's a hell of
that's what I'm
a
saying.
athlete.
Like he and they got
Uh,
so if the five up front hold up, and I mean Oregon's defense hasn't really been locking folks down, shutting folks out
mhm.
like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, 37-34 to Boise State. And that's a one-man band.
I don't know. I just don't know.
All right, let's pull up the stats. Let's see what happened.
No. But I think there are other good Big Ten teams. I think
The Boise State quarterback was 17 for 40.
Wow. We're also talking about Ashton Genty, right?
He had 148 yards passing and 1 touchdown. He just didn't turn it over.
Bro, they played
That's
the best.
That's 3.7 yards a pass.
Brother, they played the best player in college football.
Ashton Jennings went for 25 for 192.
He's the best. I don't think anybody in the nation can stop this guy.
192, 3 tuds.
We could do a whole pod on this guy. He's amazing, right? The SEC Big Ten, like is but and I'm honest about the Big Ten. I don't believe in Penn State. I don't believe in Oregon. Um, but I made a mistake believing in Bama as well. And I don't.
But you can still trust them more than those two you named.
Can I? You lost.
Stop.
Vanderbilt.
Stop, bro. Stop, bro. Stop, bro.
You couldn't stop. No, but my thing is, okay, the Vanderbilt loss is not horrible. But Vanderbilt.
No, it's horrible.
40.
We're not gonna do that.
No. They put up 40. My problem is the 40 points you allowed. If you lose to Vanderbilt 13-20, it's a little bit different. Your offense couldn't get it going. You niggas lost 40-35. You let them score 40, bro. 40's different. 40's different, man.
You say you're leaking. You're leaking.
40 is different.
You're leaking.
The SEC is just.
That is a mind-boggling loss, though. 40-35 to the Vanderbilt.
And, bruh, and that was just like right after that, Tennessee loses to Arkansas. And then Missouri, but we're not even going to talk about Missouri because Missouri was never a real serious team.
You never believed in Missouri.
You know I didn't. I don't trust Missouri.
You never believed in Missouri.
I trust Missouri less than Ole Miss and LSU, and you know I don't trust Ole Miss.
That's a fact.
But Ole Miss,
Ole Miss gonna do. They gonna score 45.
Ole Miss is gonna the first 4 games of the season. Ole Miss is gonna give you 50-60 every game.
Every time.
And then they're gonna run into something.
LSU. It'd be something like that. Kentucky. Hold on.
My thing with the SEC losses, bro, is just everybody just put Georgia right back in the mix. Yeah. Everybody had a leg up on Georgia, which I'll do. Throw Georgia right back
in the mix. Right. Could have got them out the way.
Man, y'all could have had Georgia a 10-11 seed. Them boys number 5 in the nation now.
We say we're gonna be between the hedges hosting.
Yeah.
All 100%. The way through.
And then so we could talk about the SEC Big Ten for an hour, but there's one team. Actually, who lost? Washington beat. Who is that? Michigan.
Michigan, yeah, but they don't have no quarterback. They got 2 quarterbacks, no quarterback.
That's another one I want to talk about. Washington upset. I don't think it's that big of an upset though. If you actually,
that's probably the best loss of the weekend.
Bro, and if you look at what Washington in their 5 games this season, you shouldn't be super surprised, I don't think. Because they beat Weber State, they beat Eastern Michigan, they lost to Washington State by 5, right? And then they lost to Rutgers by 3. So their 2 losses were both 1-possession games.
And Rutgers is a top 25 team, I think.
Rutgers is a very good team this year. And their other loss, Washington State, that's their rival. Like that's a rivalry game. They're gonna compete. So their 2 losses were both 1 possession. And then they play Michigan at Washington. They don't have any bad losses, I don't think, in my opinion. So this is not a horrible loss. And I think Washington very well could end up in that top 25 by the end of the year. Because that's still a good football team that's there.
They might sneak to the playoff.
Exactly, and I think USC and Minnesota is not a bad football team either. USC should be much better than what they've shown this year. They started off strong, beating LSU, but I definitely think they should be much better than what we've seen. Um, but one team I do want to talk about is I think it's is it Indiana that's undefeated in the Big Ten? Indiana or
Thanks.
let me see. It's either Indiana, Illinois is 4-1, and then
Yeah,
what team
Indiana.
is
They're
Indiana
six
is
and
six
0,
and 0.
3-0
Yeah,
in the
so
conference.
yeah, so I think
Actually, in first
after
place in the
after
Big Ten right now.
all right, bro,
Just
relax,
saying.
relax, bro.
Just saying.
I think after you get
Three
past
big,
Ohio,
three conference wins. Ohio State only got 2.
all right, man. I think after you get past Ohio State, Oregon, and Penn State, there's still some good stuff in there. I think Iowa State is a team to watch out for. Indiana is still very good.
You know, it's killing me. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, where they got 3 conference wins? Because so they beat Northwestern last week.
Hmm.
Then they beat Maryland. I'm like, okay, that's those 2 conference wins. I'm like, okay, Charlotte, UCLA, Western Illinois, FIU. I'm like, where the other? I said, oh, UCLA.
Yeah,
Oops.
they're in the conference now. Um,
Well, there's so many people. There's so many teams on the
Miami.
screen in the conference standings. That's insane.
That I mean, they look. That's what they wanted, man. That's what they wanted. Uh, let's talk a little bit about Miami. How I don't know what to think, man, because they're the nastiest 6-0 team in all
They
of
really
football,
could
man.
be 3-3.
Very easily. You know, you beat Virginia Tech on an overturned Hail Mary, and then you're down 25 to Cal at Cal.
25.
I'm not sure how much stock to put in them how serious they are as a football team because like kind of just the stuff that they've been doing, it's not something a top 5 or 6 football team should be going through. And they're not doing through this with very good teams. You know, this is against Virginia Tech and Cal. Not say that they're horrible,
Virginia
but
Tech was
if
supposed to
you're
be
as
pretty
good,
good this year, though.
and I think Virginia Tech is decent, but
They're a pretty decent football club.
if you're a top 5 or 6 team, you shouldn't be down to 10 to Virginia Tech at the crib
No,
going into the fourth quarter,
no.
and you have a Heisman hopeful at quarterback. I think that's a problem right there.
25 points that's a hell of a
25
deficit.
points to Cal. How? Why and how? How is that possible?
No
Uh,
disrespect to the Golden Bears. They are 3-2 on the year.
none, bro. And I'm not saying they should beat them by 30. Nigga, down 25 is insane.
Check this out. Cal lost to Florida
That's
State this
nuts.
year.
They lost to Florida State?
14-9.
That makes that win so much worse, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, man.
Yeah, brother. Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit here and
It's ugly out there.
lie. That's that's that's
Yeah.
that's absolutely insane.
39-38. 1 point win. Squeaking out a Cal.
So
Berkeley.
so what do you
Oh, I
think
know what happened, bro.
about?
They caught a contact. They caught a contact out there at the game. They weren't right. They weren't right.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, they caught a contact.
Oh my god. What do you think about the top 10? Do you think who do you think is rated too high, who's too low? I kind of have an idea of who you think is too high and too low.
Oh,
Uh,
I hold on, let me
Oregon and Penn State obviously at 3 and 4. Uh,
way too high.
way too high for you. I understand that.
So let me pull it up real quick. I'm sorry.
I think I had Bama at 7, Georgia at 5.
Yeah, we
Uh,
got Bama at 7, Georgia. Yeah, Penn State at 4. Insane to me. But they're undefeated still, so they could be at 4. I mean, because they're
yeah,
right
yeah.
there in front of Georgia. Um, Tennessee at 8. I find that to be interesting.
Very, very interesting.
I'm not gonna lie. But again, Arkansas,
Arkansas is a good team
they're
this
not
year.
a bad. As I said, Arkansas is not a bad team though. So
They have a very good quarterback and a very good running back. So
yeah,
and
So
Arkansas will
after
compete in a
further
lot of games.
Yeah, after further review, I think Tennessee maybe 9, but Oregon's still undefeated. So, but after they lose to Ohio State on Saturday, and it's probably gonna be pretty convincing. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't think it. I don't. Oregon loses to Ohio State. I don't think they move out of top six.
No, they don't. I think they still be in front of Alabama, and I think they still be in front of Georgia, if even if they lose, unless they get like 60 ball.
I think the
Also,
top.
I also think Ole Miss is still ranked too high because we know what they gonna do. They
Oh,
was
oh, I
ranked
mean,
they
every
was
year Ole
ranked
Miss.
at number 9. They was ranked at number 9 at one point. They was undefeated. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like that's too high.
Ole
I
Miss
think
is
I
fool's
think
gold every
I
year.
think Iowa State needs to be ranked higher than Ole Miss right now.
Absolutely, Iowa State. Iowa State. I mean, they're 5-0, and they
Yeah.
they they haven't had a little super weak schedule or anything like that. They beat Iowa. They played Iowa. Um, I'm not mad at. I definitely would put them in probably at 9 or 8, something like that, because they are
And
five and zero.
they've won like convincingly all games. Like they
Yeah,
started slow against North Dakota, 21-23. And then of course the rivalry game, Iowa was ranked then though. So it was
yep.
2019 Iowa State wins. Then they blow out Arkansas State 52-7.
Hmm.
They shut out Houston 20-0. They beat down Baylor 43-21. That's last week, and now they ranked number 11. I think they could be ranked in front of Ole Miss for sure right
Very
now.
easily, and I do. Along with Iowa State, I think Indiana should be up there a little bit higher. I
Yeah,
think the first three game. I mean, the first three games were weak. They did beat Western Illinois 77-3,
yeah.
um, and then they played Charlotte and Maryland, and then Northwestern. But they do have some tough games to finish out the season because they have
You know
Nebraska
who I
coming
think
up.
should be ranked higher too?
Was a
I think SMU should be ranked higher.
SMU, man, what a win they had against SMU. I think just like I said about Washington and Michigan, how that's not a bad loss because I thought Washington was still a good football team.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can necessarily call SMU versus Louisville an upset. Because if you look at SMU schedule, they lost to BYU by 3. BYU's ranked number 14, I
Yep.
think, in the nation right now.
Yep.
They beat TCU by 22, and then they beat Florida State by 26.
You know what
Uh,
I'm saying? So
so
they've been handling business, and then their only losses to a team that's ranked in front of them in the top 14, who's undefeated, or the top 15, excuse me, well, they're number 14. But
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So I think SMU they need a little bit more respect. They need to be in front of Michigan for sure with 2 losses. Michigan, I don't know how they're still in the top 25. I think they should be in front of Illinois. Honestly, I think SMU. I think Pitt should
They should
be
probably,
at
they should probably be a top 15 team for sure.
yeah.
Um,
So at 18 here, you see at 18 they got 3 teams.
Tied for
Or
18.
yeah, am I tripping?
I
That's
see it.
Indiana, Oklahoma, and Kansas State.
Yeah. Do you rank all of them? I don't know how that works, bro. To be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, we don't
And
do.
then
There's
Iowa State and Notre Dame, they're tied at 11. Interesting.
on the schedule, Kansas State versus Colorado are
I don't
absolutely
understand
good.
how Notre Dame is
They're,
ranked that high.
yeah, I
Their
mean
their loss is terrible.
that was definitely one of the worst losses, worst
It was
losses of
terrible.
the year
It was
to to,
terrible.
to Northern Illinois.
You know what I'm
Uh,
saying? Come on, man. What are we doing? How are they ranked at tie for 11? They shouldn't be in front of BYU. No way.
they shouldn't be in front of LSU or Texas A&M.
Or Texas A&M. To be honest, exactly. Texas A&M got good wins.
Notre Dame should probably be in that 18 to
That tie
20
down there with
range.
them. Yeah, bro.
They should be
I'm
right in
not
between
feeling.
Kansas State and Missouri.
I don't think I'm feeling. I mean,
North.
the top 7, 8. Matter of fact, I'm cool with the top 10. Top 10, cool. No, 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 because Iowa State needs to
I
be
would,
ahead.
I
Iowa
would,
State
yeah, I would put Iowa State in there, move Ole Miss out.
and
Um,
leave Clemson at
I
10.
would probably, yeah, I would probably put Indiana right there at 11. Um,
Yeah,
But this weekend is so. Let's move on a little bit. This weekend we're gonna shake up the rankings once more, right? Um,
Yeah,
Oregon and Ohio State. We talked about it a little bit. I think Ohio State wins that game. They just have the better athletes, better skill players.
they
The
got a better
quarterback is
quarterback.
not the quarterback. Yeah, Oregon's quarterback is just not enough of a difference maker that he needs to be, in
He
my humble
goofy,
opinion.
man. He goofy.
I don't see what everybody else sees in him. But on top of that, we have the Red River rivalry, one of the best games in college football. Uh, but surprisingly, Texas is number one, but Steve Sarkisian is 1-2 against Oklahoma in his tenure. Um, I don't know, man. What do you think?
Man, you know how those rivalry games get.
Man, they're unpredictable. And of course, right now it's
You know
hard
what?
to see.
Hold on. I got it. I'm finna get in my bag. Tight game. First 2 quarters. Maybe even get Oklahoma's up 2 scores.
Hmm.
Now I'm
I don't
not
want to
wishing
hear. Hey,
injury. I'm not wishing injury.
I don't want to hear no Archman and bullshit, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I
Quinn
don't want.
Ewers goes down.
Here you go, man. I don't want to hear that shit, bro.
Arch comes in, wins it. And then what do we do then? You down 13, well, down, we'll say down 10. Down 10, he come back, win.
I don't want to hear.
What do we do now?
Tell Quinn Ewers to fight. I'm not. I'm still not an Archman and believer. We actually have something that happened tonight. Arizona State upset Utah.
I told you Utah. I told
Nasty
you
loss for
I
Utah.
wouldn't.
Right?
I told
I
you I
mean,
ain't been feeling Utah.
Utah just. My God, I don't know, man. Cam Rising, you're too old to be. You're supposed to know this shit in and out. And Utah usually has a pretty good path to dominance every year. They have a decent path, and then it's
Especially
just something,
in this 12 field now. You know, field of 12. Like,
man. It's just like so. Let's look at the rest of their schedule. Uh, Still got TCU coming up. Still got Houston, BYU, Colorado. Ooh, they got a tough. They got a tough last 6 games, man.
well, hey, you know how BYU coming, they on the way.
BYU, um, Colorado, Iowa State, and UCF. Those are 4 or 5 good football teams right there. All very good football teams.
And by the time they play, it look like the way Colorado look, they might be ranked.
So Utah was like they're not supposed. This is not one of the ones they should lose. They have to win these next two to give some room for error to lose the last four 1 or 2 times. This is a bad loss for them. I don't think it does a lot of damage, but still, you just not supposed to be losing to Arizona State. So Ohio State, Oregon. We both have Ohio State, Texas, Oklahoma. Uh, Rivalry games are always hard to call, but I just can't see Texas. The gap at quarterback, both quarterbacks, is very large. Um,
Yeah.
Hard to see losing to them. Obviously, Isaiah Bond, Jade and Blue. Their offense is just hitting on all cylinders, kind of at this point. I
Yeah,
do,
we're gonna go 2 for 2. Agree on that too. But
I do think USC beats Penn State this weekend.
hey, bro, why you
Um,
steal my pick?
bro, I'm a football watcher. USC beats Penn State this weekend. I think Notre Dame um, barely squeezes one out against Stanford. I think less than 5 points.
Nah, give me Stanford.
Uh, you're
Marcus
taking
Freeman.
Stanford straight up.
I hate to do it to you, Marcus Freeman, but why not?
I'm not even mad at that pick because I still have them in a tight game. California Pitt. Pitt actually has some good wins. They kind of surprised me this year. I didn't expect them to be 5-0 to start the season. Had a great win against North Carolina recently.
Hold
Um,
on, hold
they might
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Ain't no such thing. Only team with a great win against North Carolina this year is James
James
Madison.
Madison. North Carolina is not a horrible team like you're trying to make it.
No, brother, brother, brother,
I don't.
brother,
Their defense
brother.
is terrible, but they're
I,
still.
they're a bad, they're a horrible team. They're on their
You
third quarter. They're on their third quarterback.
are they?
Yeah,
I was unaware.
yeah. You know, I'm tuned. I'm tapped in every weekend.
I mean, they beat Minnesota, lost to James Madison, lost to Duke. Not
That
horrible.
quarterback broke his femur in the first game.
Jesus, that's something. That's something right there. Uh, so who else we got? Oh, Ole Miss and LSU. Who do you like there?
It's a nasty game.
That's a great game. That's a great game right there.
It's a
Fuck.
nasty game.
Ah
There'll be a
man.
lot of touchdowns scored for sure.
Uh
I
I
don't
think
think
I'm
Ole
taking.
Miss gets to stop. I don't think Ole Miss gets to stop.
But like, you know how crazy it is to put confidence in Brian Kelly? Like, is
I
that
don't
not
want to
the
do it.
craziest shit? Bro, is that not the like? Is there
I don't
anything?
want to do it.
But like, Ole
I
Miss
say
just
I
lets
don't
you.
want to keep digging.
That's like if you're a gambling person, that's a game I
Look,
wouldn't bet on.
stay out that water.
That's a
Take the
game you
over.
just
Take the
leave.
over. Take the over.
That's it. That's a game you leave alone.
Take the over.
Kansas, Kansas State and Colorado. Kansas State 18. Colorado still 4-1. They look good. Uh,
I want to pick Colorado. I want to.
my thing
I
is,
think Kansas State's the better ball club here. And
my
shout out my young boy Trey Spivey out there, number 12, wide receiver, Kansas State.
shout out to him. My thing is, we've seen Colorado in 4 close games in a row this year. I think
Go run out of gas.
you can't win every close
No,
game.
but they just beat down UCF and then they had to buy.
Okay, so yeah, they did beat down. You said, yeah. So they've been, oh, they've only been in 2. North Dakota State, Nebraska beat them bad like that.
Yeah, beat them down.
And that's another team to watch out for in the Big Ten. Raiola being a little Patrick Mahomes copycat, as annoying as that is, he's a good quarterback. I hate that he acts like that because he could definitely be his own guy because he's good,
You know
but
who
he's
he
still a good
remind me of?
quarterback. Who's that?
He remind me like Jackson Mahomes. That's like really who he is.
I know. I definitely see it, and it's just the whole thing is just weird, man.
That's really who he is. But it's like, what you want to be Pat, but you really Jackson Mahomes.
So Colorado has 2. That's crazy. Colorado has 2 close games this year. You said you like Kansas State over them.
Yeah.
I think I do like Kansas State as well. Um, I think those are. I mean, Mississippi State and Georgia. Georgia cleans them up. Florida, Tennessee. Florida. As bad as Florida is, they are 3-2.
They shaking back. They're
Not
shaking
sure
back.
how. They're just a bad football team at the end of the day, though.
Coach trying
But
to save his job.
Tennessee did look horrible against Arkansas as well.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying.
I'm
They
not
look
sure how they respond after that one. UCF, Mississippi State, Texas. Okay. Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I'm not. I'm never. I'm not putting any trust in Florida at the moment. So I do like Tennessee in that one. So we definitely have a full slate tomorrow for college football. So let's move on to Sundays. Um, another big week. Uh, Kirk Cousins, man. Let's start with him. 500 yards to start our week 5 NFL.
500.
I'm a Kirk believer. I always have been. If you watch Kirk for the last 10 years, he's been very consistent, top 10, probably in that 7 to 10 range. Never top 5, but definitely 7 to 10. He's reliable. He's gonna throw for 4,000 every year, get you 25 touchdowns. Probably 10 interceptions or less, somewhere around there. He's someone you can trust, like because the gap of quarterbacks right now is so bad. He's definitely one of the better ones that you can talk. He's on. I would put him in at Jared Goff.
I'm about to say what's the name that like it's like after that?
I would put him on a tier with like Jared Goff.
I got my
He's a
name.
yeah.
I know like after I say this name and even really that name, like that name and down. It's like not where you want to be. But go ahead.
I think he's above Derek Carr. He's right there with Jared Goff. I think he's a little bit above Tua. Trying to think, like I think Jared Goff would be his equal because I can't put him there with like Stroud. I don't know about Stafford because Stafford still slings it. He got and he's obviously won a Super Bowl. Um, but Stafford is definitely probably if Stafford is 7, I would have Kirk Cousins 8. Uh, but you still have Pat, Lamar, Stroud, Josh Allen. Um, I used to say Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that anymore.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I think
I
after that we got to go to like the next
honestly,
tier.
but like he's been so much better than everybody else in his tier this year. Because if I was to talk about his tier, Jalen Hurts, he's been a lot better than Jalen Hurts. He's been better than Aaron Rodgers this year. Um, whoever
Yeah,
you want to put, Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, um, Gino, Dak. He's been better than those guys. And I think he is better than those guys, honestly. Like if you look at the history of Kirk Cousins, like when Justin Jefferson was there, when Kirk and Justin were there, Justin had a crazy year. Kirk had a crazy year, right? Before Justin,
years.
before Justin, who was it? Stephon Diggs, record breaking numbers. Before Stephon, Adam
Thielen.
Thielen, record breaking numbers. And then even in Washington, he's throwing for 4,500. So Kirk has been very, very good for a multitude of years. And I think, but obviously 500 anywhere is different. That's super
Crazy.
different. Uh,
And then to win the game the way they did.
and we seen him walk down two contenders
Yeah.
this year. He
Yeah.
walked down the Eagles after a not so great first half. Turn around, walks down the Bucks. I think that was a great signing for the Falcons. If whenever you can, we're starting to see Drake London be a top whatever 11 or 12 pick that he was. Darnell Mooney catches for 100 yards.
Dog,
Um,
Darnell Mooney could have had a crazy day. He could have went for like 200 plus, but he was dropping the ball. He had drops. And all them yards he had, all them catches
and
he had, he still had drops,
yeah,
leaving food on the table.
so I do want to talk about. I want to hear your opinion on this guy that I mentioned really quick. Um, Bijan Robinson. I know he's like a top 5 fantasy guy, and his potential is just like out the roof. But his actual production is not out the roof. Um, what is your thoughts about him? Me personally, let me share mine really quick. I think he has the potential to be a top 10, top 5 running back, but he's definitely not a top 10 or top 5 running back, but the potential is there. But the only thing that matters in the NFL is actual production. So we cannot live off of potential. If we're talking about actuality, he's not a top 10 running back, not even by a little bit. But I think it's still there. But some people are super duper high on him. What do you think?
Um, man, the potential, of course, is there. The athleticism is there. The fast twitch is there. The sudden burst is there. The agility, everything's there. The hands, everything. It just
Yes,
when you hand
has
him
all
the
the tools.
ball, it hasn't really worked out. I don't know if it's the run scheme itself. He
Yeah.
and the lineman maybe they aren't gelling. Like I don't know if it's something that he prefers and is maybe not to the point in his career where he feel like he can speak up and be like, "This is what I really think I run best out of, and I think this is where I could be most effective." But
Mhm.
if he doesn't hurry up and speak and make that be clear and have some production, then he gonna find himself out the league. So And it's not soon because he's a high pick, but it's just he better pick it up. And they got to figure it out a way to give him the ball and get him the ball open space, bro. Because when he's in space and he's got a block or two, like he electric.
It's great, electric. I think a lot of my issues with some of the opinions are like we rank a guy on what they could be instead of what they are. Bijan Robinson is one of those guys we do that a lot with. I think Brees Hall is the other guy we do that a lot with. Brees has all the tools, but like the only thing that matters in the NFL is production. We don't care what you can be.
But
We only
Brees
care what
produced,
you
he
are.
just be hurt, man. But in this year, he's not producing that well because they whole offense stinks, though.
So we just talked about the Buccaneers, Falcons, Jets, and the Vikings. Vikings are 5-0. I want to talk about them real quick before we move on to the Jets. Vikings, do you believe the hype? 5-0. Are they a real contender? Are they somebody to take serious?
I feel like they remind me of what was that 2022 Pittsburgh Steelers?
All right, bro. All right,
11 and 0.
all right, bro.
11 and 0.
Just gonna
Oh,
start
we
right there.
going to the Super Bowl. We so good. Da,
No,
da, da,
we're
da,
gonna
da,
stop
da.
right there, bro. Nobody, anybody thought we was going to the Super Bowl with Chase Claypool was their number two. The fucking nut, bro. I'm gonna just say that. Like, he's not a number two Super
We
Bowl.
undefeated. We undefeated.
All right, bro. So
What y'all
this
lose?
week,
6
this
in a row, 7 in a row, including the playoffs. See you later. Nah, but I think the Vikings will be better than that. You know, I think the Vikings can win a playoff game for sure
okay.
with
All
Sam
right,
Darnold.
bro. This is a crazy. Um, the Jets just fired Robert Saleh. Justified? Is it his fault? Um,
I mean,
they
his
just
record was trash. His record was
his
trash.
record's terrible.
His record's
I
trash.
think, but
I
like
mean,
he's a defensive guy, right? Jets were still a pretty decent defense, but
still,
You hired Nathaniel Hackett as your offensive coordinator. Did you not watch that atrocity in Denver? Uh,
that was an atrocity.
he was one of the worst hirings of all time, probably. I'm not gonna lie to you.
And that was bad for the game.
And then you turn around and hire him as your offensive court. Like it's a couple
You know, Aaron
coaches,
ain't give him no choice.
bro. It's a couple coaches that should never get a job again. Nathaniel Hackett is one of them. Adam Gase being another one. You know what I mean? Like it's a couple
You
guys that just don't
said
belong in
them
college
boys,
football,
what it say, excommunicado.
bro. Bro, literally, like, do you think the Jets' record is totally on Robert Saleh? Should he have been fired? Should they have gave him a couple more games?
I think they could have let him finish the season now just to see what was going to happen. I mean, in the latter part of his career, Aaron Rodgers has been a kind of a habitually slow starter with the season,
Yeah.
especially, in a new space with a new team, even though, he was there last year. This is his first year out there with those guys. The
Mhm.
offensive line still needs a little help, still needs a little work. Uh, they're not really gelling at this point. They looked horrible against the Vikings. They looked horrible against the Vikings.
And I think Aaron Rodgers, he kind of needs one of those play callers one of those newer play callers. Obviously, he was working with for one of the best player callers we have in the league. Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, uh, guys that just are able to scheme their guy, Mike McDaniel, guys that are able to scheme their guys open,
Uh,
especially when you have a quarterback that can
Mike
throw the ball.
McDaniel.
Everybody, did you hear my second part of my statement? When you have a quarterback that can throw the ball, he's working. Have you watched Tyler Huntley lately, bro?
Oh, brother, I'm familiar with Tyler Huntley's game.
Okay, so it's like Tyler
He
Huntley's
can throw the
not.
ball. I've seen him before.
How many times?
Couple. Just as many times as he gonna see it.
Yeah, so it's like Tyler Huntley's not the guy for the Miami Dolphins offense. Tyler Huntley's not throwing 50, 60-yard bombs. Let's get that out the way, right? Let's understand that.
But before that, they
But
didn't look that great, bro. They didn't. They haven't really looked good
they
all
didn't
year.
look that. They didn't, but like they weren't struggling this bad.
Okay, but the
That
way they looked
offense is
against the
that
Bills,
offense,
they looked bad against the
bro.
Bills, man.
That
Before
offense
Tua
now,
got knocked out, they
bro.
look
That
terrible.
offense is at a standstill now.
I mean, yeah,
Like they're having,
they look worse than the Panthers.
bro. They're having trouble getting first downs.
Yeah, it's
You
critical.
know,
It's critical out there.
they're having trouble getting 12 yards out of 3 plays. Um, my God. So let's talk about your team a little bit. Ravens versus the Bengals. The Ravens defense atrocious. Um, but luckily y'all have the best quarterback in football right now. I'm not afraid to say it. I know I texted you that. Give me 8 over everybody right now, including Patrick Mahomes. I understand that Patrick Mahomes is still the best up to this point, but as far as right now, who's been playing the best football in the NFL at that quarterback position? It's Lamar Jackson. Um, Early in the season, we saw him rush for 100 plus yards. Then we turn around and see Lamar throw for 400 plus and 4 touchdowns. I understand who Patrick Mahomes is, but Lamar is just an alien, man.
Man,
And I know a lot of people like to talk about Joe Burrow and what he can do. Lamar can do that exact same thing. He showed us. He whatever Joe did, he kept up with him. I think Joe threw. Let me check. Drew threw for
he was at 400
three.
plus.
Drew for 392. Lamar threw for 348. 5 touchdowns to 4 touchdowns. So when people sit here and tell me um, there's more than one better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, I just laugh because
Impossible.
how do you figure he can throw? He can throw as good as
And Joe
anybody.
Burrow can't beat him.
He's 8-1 against the Bengals, um, and we're talking about a playoff team here, right? This is a playoff football team.
Uh,
Uh,
6-1 against Joe Burrow.
like, is that not that's 23-1 against the whole conference? 22. What is it? 22, 23.
I think it's 24. 24 and
20,
1, I think.
24-1 against the whole conference. Um, but like, I see people sit here and say, "Oh, Lamar can't throw." He he literally can throw as good as anybody in the league,
Yeah.
and he's never thrown to Tyreek Hill. He's never thrown to Jamar Chase. He's never thrown to Stephon Diggs.
T.
He's never
Higgins.
thrown to AJ Brown, T. Higgins. He's never thrown to any of these guys. And every guy I just named, these are all pro receivers. He's not throwing. He's throwing to Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, Rashad Bateman, Odell Beckham, Nelson Aguilar. Like these are the guys that I'm comparing are 3 and 4 tiers below these other guys.
Second year Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers and Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers is very good, but I'm talking about generational guys in AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Generational,
Nico
like
Collins.
Nico Collins. Like he's not throwing to these guys, but yet
Jettis.
he's sitting in the pocket and he's throwing for 26 for 42, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns. And then 3 games prior, he rushes 12 times for 125 yards. Um, it's literally, I, I think he's a top 5 thrower of the football. Regardless of what you think, I think he can throw the football. One of the best 5 throwers of the football. I think he's one of the best 5 runners of the football as well.
Nah,
So if you're
brother.
top 5 in running,
He's a top 5 runner of the football all time. Like with the ball in his hands, he's top 5.
I'm not even mad at that, bro, because he's that good. He's that great.
Top 5 because like everybody's got a different style. Like yeah, he got like Walter. Like I would say it's like Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, maybe Eric Dickerson.
Mhm.
I'm trying to go something a little bit
Adrian
more recent.
Peterson,
Yeah,
Ladainian,
I was about to say Adrian Peterson.
Ladainian Tomlinson,
Yeah,
Chris
and like
Johnson, whoever you want to name.
Lamar is in there though, like because he's
But
like
but
different
what?
from all of them. The only one you can really kind of compare him to is Barry Sanders. That's it.
And he's still different than that because he's more straight line, like one move and
Yeah,
go. He's a one cut guy. Barry, he'll dance with you for a little bit. But if you throw a laser on top of that, I don't know what to say, bro. And I
What we
really
say
hate
is
that he played.
low key, like low key Otani.
He's coming up on his third MVP. And I hate that he plays for Ravens, but like he's so good it don't even matter, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's literally must see TV.
He
Just
said, "Yeah, you cool with what he do? What 15 weeks out the year?
yeah. Them last two, yeah, I can't fuck with, bro. Look. He play us. I want him to do well. I just want him to lose. You
Right.
know, do whatever you gotta do, but just don't win. Um, and so Ryan, I don't know if you saw it. Ryan Clark made a statement. Jaden Daniels is already a better passer than Lamar Jackson. Whoa, brother.
Hey, Woo.
And
Woo.
and I said earlier, I'm a prisoner moment, recency bias, all that. I've seen Lamar, bro. The pass to Isaiah Likely, he stiff arm. He fumbles the
Yeah.
ball, drops it, backpedals, stiff arms, tosses it up, fading out of bounds for a touchdown. You can't sit here and tell me some guy that only played 5 games is a better thrower.
Hey, but check this out though. It was one. Jaden Daniels had this throw on Sunday against the Browns.
Hmm.
He was rolling right,
I saw it.
pressures in his face, and he like mid step. That ball he flipped out there. Who was that to? Was it De'Ami Brown?
Terry McLaurin. He had
That
two. He
ball.
had one to Terry. He had one to De'Ami Brown.
No, the De'Ami Brown was a touchdown though, right? The big ball up the sideline for the
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah.
Yeah,
Terry
that
got
ball to
stopped at like
Terry,
the 4.
that roll out, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, that's a
I think
ball. That's a ball. That was an unbelievable ball.
And I think Jaden Daniels has been amazing so far.
And the only reason I say
I
that
think,
is because I've seen Lamar miss that ball several times. Like I've seen him miss that ball.
do you think if you think it was Terry McLaurin he was throwing to, you think that? Let's talk about it.
That's a
If
fact though. That's a
hey,
fact though.
if Jaden is throwing to Nelson Aguilar or Odell Beckham, year 12 Odell Beckham with 3 ACLs,
We say year 14, Nelson Aguilar.
third year Rashad Bateman or whoever you want to put out there. What the nigga name Willie Sneed is
Hey, yo, chill
come
out, chill
on.
out, chill out, chill out.
If
You're
Jaden
bad.
Daniels is throwing to
Hey, that
Willie
boy that boy threw. He led the league in passing touchdowns. Won the MVP with Willie Snead out there.
If Jaden Daniels is throwing that ball to Willie Snead, do you think that's a completion at the 4 yard line? You know what I'm saying? So
That
it's a little
boy
bit
won
different.
MVP with Willie Snead out there.
Come on, bro. Like, and I do so.
Hold on, I'm trying to think who was that receiver. It was Willie Snead. Had just drafted Buddy from Notre Dame. What was his name? All right, go.
Mm,
Let's just keep going.
I know who you're
It's,
talking about too.
you
But
know
like,
exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly. We'll figure it out later. So since we're on the topic of Jaden Daniels, a lot of people saying he's the current MVP just because what he. I think it pays to be sorry and then upgrade a team because unfortunately for Lamar, the Ravens have been good for the last 7 years or whatever he got drafted. So they don't look at Lamar like an
Well, we
MVP.
was kind of like in purgatory because we was locked in with Flacco contract. We wasn't winning, and he kept getting hurt. So it was
But my point is like if the Washington Commanders went 11-6 last year, I don't think we're having this conversation.
real quick, bro. 2019, Lamar Jackson won MVP. His wide receivers, Willie Snead and Miles Boykin.
He went to UJ, right?
No,
I
he was
think.
Notre Dame. Miles Boykin.
I'm thinking about Brady, whatever his name is. But like, come on though. You know what I'm saying? Like that's different, dog.
Miles
Give
Boykin
him give him Terry McLaurin. Terry might go for 1800, 1812.
for sure.
Lamar has never had a receiver half as good as Terry McLaurin.
That's also
Terry
true.
McLaurin not even top 10, and he ain't had laughing. Do you hear what I'm saying, bro? You laughing, but do you hear what I'm saying?
No, I'm laughing because that's my pain. That's my real pain. So like, I'm just
And
laughing because you really understand. So I'm just glad someone from the outside really understands what my
bruh,
real pain.
Terry McLaurin is an Ohio State guy, so you never know. You know, I would never downplay him.
Never.
He's not a top 10. He might not be top 15.
But he's real good.
He's very, 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 very good.
But we ain't had
Lamar
half of Terry McLaurin.
Lamar hasn't had half of that nigga, bro.
We say our receiver one be wide receiver 30 in the league.
Dog. Do you know what Lamar would do with Terry McLaurin? All right, we can talk about that all day. But my thing is, I don't like disrespect to Lamar just because everybody likes the shiny new toy, right? Last year was C.J. Stroud. This year is Jaden Daniels, and you know it's good to see early who's going to be that guy and who's going to be great. You don't. That doesn't mean you have to put him in front of Lamar Jackson. This is a two-time MVP, ought to be a three-time MVP. You know, he
You
Lamar
know what
literally led.
you know what I am ready to say though? Jay Daniels is the best quarterback in the NFC right now.
Whoa.
Give me one.
Okay. No, gotta run through my divisions real quick.
Maybe Kirk Cousins.
West. Hmm. Let's see West. Let's see North.
Yeah, you running through them divisions.
Yeah, Jordan, Sam, Caleb.
Golf.
He might, yeah, he might be. That's not a bad statement. That's not a terrible statement. I think he's probably, bro. But we talked about Kurt's 500, right?
Yeah.
Kirk is one of the last ones that give us that old feel, that white pocket passer. You know, he's
that
not
Drew Bledsoe
scrambling. Yeah, he's not scrambling. Tom, Peyton, Drew, Ben, Flacco, whoever else you want to throw in.
My dog Flacco's still out here now. Don't do that.
That's what I'm saying though. But like that, those are the last of that type of quarter, that pro style. This is not these are not high. These guys aren't. They're not scrambling for the first. They're they're pushing the ball down the field.
Matt Hasselbeck,
bro, and we just don't like. If you look at what is that? So the AFC West: Bo Nix, Gardner Minshew, Patrick Mahomes, and
ain't no comment.
Whoever the charge back quarterback is, but it's like there's no Breeze, Peyton Manning, Brady, Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers.
I would say Rivers.
Flacco.
They ain't got no Rivers. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like these guys with those 350 like it's nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
A couple of the guys I named, they have 5,000-yard years. That's nothing to them, bro. 40,000 is the baseline. I mean, 4,000 is the baseline for these guys that I'm talking about. And like we watched Kirk throw for 500. When the last time we seen a white man just sit up tall in that pocket and not? I'm not trying to be racist to it, but like when that white man
it's
in that pocket,
just nostalgic.
It's a different feel to it, bro. It's a different feel to it. I don't know if niggas can relate. Like,
that's how the game's supposed to be played.
Bro, Matt Ryan
in that pocket,
bruh. You know exactly what I mean, bro. Like, you just gotta reminisce on that shit sometimes, bro. A-Rod in the Packers, bro.
You say,
you know what I mean?
Testaverde.
Come on, bro. Them white men don't stand up in that. We talked about it. I don't want to be that pod tonight. There's too many niggas running that football in that pocket, man. There's too many niggas running the football in that pocket. Not enough niggas standing tall.
Stand up in that pocket, man.
Hey, shout out to the black man, but like
y'all watering down. Man.
Y'all kind of watering down that position, man. Anthony Richardson, I'm talking to you. I'm talking. You can't throw the ball, nigga.
60
You see,
yards or
you
none.
see, you see what Flacco doing with the Colts?
350.
Throwing 500 a game. Them boys moving the ball.
Alec Pierce, wide receiver 1.
Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, 100 easy.
Mo Alley Cox back from the
All
dead.
right, man. Nah, you finna look. I'm finna get sad just reminiscing on that type of quarterback that we don't have no more. Who is that quarterback now? Who is that white pro style quarterback that sit up and throw for 350? Herbert. It could have been
Joe
Herbert, but like,
Burrow.
who is it now? Joe Burrow. Yeah, okay. Burrow is one of them. Who else do we got? It's
Shit,
nobody,
Dak
bro.
kind of close.
Calling him white.
He close. He move a little
No,
bit and he
bro.
light skinned.
Hey, Brock Purdy. I'll throw him in there.
He moved though.
He do move a little.
He remind me
Stafford.
kind of like Steve Young.
Stafford. That's about it.
Stafford, yeah. Stafford stand up in that. Oh, Golf, he stand up in that pocket.
He ain't throwing. He get nice 250.
He's
Um,
he standing up in that pocket though.
that's a fact. Colts, Jaguars.
Just
I
Sam
don't
Darnold
know.
up
The
in that
Colts.
pocket.
I'm not moved yet. I'm talking about for a season. I'm talking about niggas did this for a decade, bro. What we talking about?
Sam Darnold up
I
in
watched
that
it.
pocket.
I watched niggas stand in that pocket for 10 years. Um, so the Colts, real quick. Joe Flacco. Honestly, if I'm the Colts GM, I'm moving forward with Joe Flacco. He gives them the best chance to win football games. Understand Anthony Richardson needs some development. Joe Flacco's a great quarterback to learn behind. If I'm him though, I'm moving full like the offense just looks better with Joe Flacco. Understand
It does.
Anthony Richardson has that dual threat, but sometimes you got to take that L. I
He
know it's
might
enough.
be the glass man, bro.
You draft somebody number 5, you want to put them in. You want to use them. You don't want that draft pick to go to waste.
Especially
But
when you look like that. Boy, it look like Superman.
man, Cam Newton prototype, bro. But you got to call a spade a spade. Um, who we got? So Dolphins, Patriots. Obviously, we're just waiting for Tua to get back. I think Drake May is to start this week. I think it is time for that 100%. Enter that new era.
Ramondre Stevenson out too.
Yeah, you drafted a guy number 2 or 3 at quarterback. Let him watch for 4 or 5 games. Kind of let him work through uh,
Yeah.
those kinks. And
Throw him out of that water.
yeah,
See
and
if he swim.
I think Drake May is good enough to do that. And be that guy. And obviously, to pair with that, the Patriots have a lot of young receivers as well. Jalen Pope, is Kendrick Moore still on there?
Yeah.
Mario Douglas, and then with a young coach, they can all kind of grow together and kind of build that as well. Obviously, we talked about the Commanders beating the Browns. We talked about Jaden Daniels, but Deshaun Watson, is that the worst trade in sports history? Not the NFL, but the worst trade in sports history.
Yeah, I think we're checking the box with that
200,
one.
$220 million guaranteed. Nothing to show for it. Absolutely nothing. And he looks worse every game as well. Um, is that
Yeah,
is
this
that the worst? Is that the worst trade in recent history you could think of? Maybe. Oh, this is a good question. Is the Deshaun trade? Is the Deshaun Watson trade worse than the Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young, DJ Moore trade?
I don't think the Panthers trade is that bad as compared to this Deshaun Watson trade because at least with the Panthers situation, their problems are still greater than just the quarterback position.
Mm,
So with that being said, trading for a draft pick and it's still the unknown. But when you trade like was it 4 first-round picks
mhm.
for a former Pro Bowl quarterback and get nothing and then sign the first and still only fully guaranteed deal in the history of the NFL on top of that, all the draft compensation. It's all the
That's
other
the
owners are looking at you like we told you not to do that, and now you look like an idiot. So it's very nasty in more ways than one. It's a nasty situation, some would say.
all right, bro. That was crazy. That was freaking crazy. Oh my god. So the Bills beat the Texans. That's crazy. Bills beat the Texans. Josh Allen played horrible. I guess it's reported that he had a concussion.
Now, yeah,
And I
I
think he
I
did.
could have reported that from the crib, brother.
Yeah, and
We seen him
he
go to
went
sleep.
yeah. And the stat line is the stat line. So
9 of 30.
if you go 9 of 30 and you throw for 130, whatever you threw for, I don't. I hope you get well, but don't tell me he had a concussion. That's why I've never seen him act like this. He had a concussion. That's why he went 9 and 30.
No, I'm not trying to hear that at all.
Brother, if you have a concussion,
But
you can go.
but you were clearly concussed by your play
Hey,
on the
with a
field.
concussion, you can go 15 for 30. 9 for 30 is some ass.
130 yards is still kind of impressive just for 9 completions.
9 for 30, bro. That is less than 33%.
It is. That's quick math, huh?
I don't want to hear shit about anybody that goes 9 for 30. Stop comparing him to Lamar, bro. This is the last. I say it every week. I feel like stop putting him in these conversations. He hasn't done shit. No Super Bowl appearances. No MVPs. No Super Bowls. Like he's not Pat. He's not Lamar. He's not even Joe Burrow. We got to stop. That's the end of Josh Allen. I think he's very. I think he's. This is no disrespect, bro. I think he's still very good. But when we're talking about the top dogs, he does not need to be anywhere near that combo.
9 of 30.
I don't think any of them three have had a game that bad.
Oh no.
Could you imagine a game
They'd
where
have they'd have had Lamar returning punts if he'd have went 9 for 30, bro.
he would have been? They would have nailed him to the cross, brother.
They'd be returning
They would
punts,
have.
bro. It'd been over with.
So we had a big DJ Moore revenge game. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, huge, just huge. Like, it kind of starts to look like the Bears are kind of clicking on all cylinders. Caleb Williams is
they
kind
were
of
playing the Panthers.
yeah.
Caveat
Okay, so are we brushing that off as a Panthers opponent?
combination,
Or,
combination.
so do you think there's any real rhythm being gathered there? Is my question there.
I think they could build off of that for sure. Something, but I'm just not
Okay,
impressed. Not impressed.
okay, that's fair. Um, Raiders and Broncos.
Trash.
That's bad football. That's a bad football game there. Um, Gardner Minshew gets replaced by Aiden O'Connell
Aiden
with
O'Connell
nobody
starting
to throw
Sunday.
to. Aiden O'Connell is getting his first start of the season against T.J. Watt, brother.
Ooh,
You
welcome.
can't. I don't think you can set a quarterback up any worse than that. You know,
Yeah, that's a bad
Got,
situation.
we want you to start this game against one of the best pass rushers to ever play the
And
game.
what's my man on the other side?
Highsmith. I don't even think he's playing.
No. Herbie, something
Herbert.
like that. Yeah,
Herbert. Yeah,
Herbie.
he
Yeah.
might be hurt as well. So
Oh well,
Cam
damn.
Cam Hayward and T.J. Watt literally might just be enough. Um, the Cardinals sneak one out against the 49ers. Don't know how. The 49ers are, I don't know, they've had a weird first 6 games, 3-3
Yeah,
to
because
start the
they
season. They've
lost that
lost to
one
some
and they
sorry.
ended up losing. And they ended up winning Thursday.
Yeah, so they lose to the Cardinals, but they beat the Seahawks. Lose to the Rams, lose to the Vikings, beat the Jets. Just a very weird start for them. Obviously, they have a lot of injuries coming in. Christian McCaffrey. Me personally, if anybody's playing fantasy, this is
R.I.P.
guys. Have you ever heard of tendonitis in both ankles?
I didn't even know Achilles could get tendonitis.
Bruh, first of all, tendonitis is not even a. I don't think it's an injury. That's a disease, isn't it? That's like a.
I don't know, bro. It don't go away for a long time. I'll tell
Yeah,
you that.
you don't get tendonitis and you're good in 6 weeks. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Nah, we'll be
That's not
looking
some
at it.
shit.
We'll see
So,
you. We'll see you when we see you.
fantasy owners, CMC owners, do with that what you will. Packers and Rams. I think the Packers are they got Jordan Love back, starting to look a little bit better. Um, him and Jaden Reed, that connection looks like one of the best connections in the league. I'm not sure what's going on with Romeo Dobbs.
MIA.
Looks like a little bit of trouble in paradise.
Man, he was supposed to be the guy, bro.
Him, Christian Watson, Jaden
Now,
Reed.
now it's Reed and Wicks.
Yeah, the two unlikely ones, in my opinion, I thought was
Yeah.
Watson and Dobbs on the way. Um, Giants sneak one out past the Seahawks. They've snuck a couple wins in there that they wasn't supposed to.
Back door.
Uh, yeah, I'm not sure how they keep getting away with this stuff. Um,
Seattle's in a bad way, man.
you think so?
Seattle's. I mean, you lose to the Giants and then you get smacked by the Niners. Yeah, you're in a bad way.
This is Mike McDonald's. Are we giving him a pass for his first year or what?
Yeah, for sure. But they're in a bad way right now. Considering they were a fringe playoff team last year, they're in a bad way.
I think Tua is Geno's luck up because nobody. I don't think we expected him to go crazy like he did last year. He's Geno. So you can tell me if I'm wrong. Geno's supposed to be a bridge guy, right or wrong?
That's what the plan was.
Right. So
And then he got a bag.
yeah. So he kind of interrupted that whole bridge plan and just
Yeah.
played out of his freaking mind. And now he's kind of like a fringe top 15 guy. Now,
Right in there with Baker.
exactly. So it's like I don't know, like where kind of for the Seahawks, where do you kind of go from here? Like, do you kind of stick with Geno or do you get the next guy coming up?
I mean, it just depends on where you're drafting at and what you can get, what you can land. So
I mean, they're 3-3, so they're not in.
if next year's draft comes around, not the 25 draft, but the 26 draft comes around, and Arch Manning falls right to your lap.
Bro. Bro. You gonna make an Arch Manning hater out of me? I'm gonna tell you that much, man.
It's too late. You already there.
Yeah, actually, Cowboys and Steelers, man. Let's make this the last time we have a game until 1 o'clock in the morning, brother. And me being a Steelers fan, I stayed my dumb ass up till 1 o'clock. I had work at 6:37. I stayed my ass up until 1 to watch my team lose. Let's not do this again, NFL. That's
That
my
boy, that
thing,
was that a stinker or what?
bro.
Dak Prescott looked horrible
And he
until
still,
the last drive.
yeah, and I think he still threw for 300 or something. Which is the
Looked
worst part about. Yeah, he threw for 352, brother.
2 picks, fumble, looked atrocious. 352.
So
Stat compiler.
he's a nasty
Pittsburgh. Are y'all going to Russ? Because we thought y'all was warming up, but yeah, y'all sputtering still.
My
Offensively.
thing is, there's no Russ is not the solution because we have nobody to throw it to.
I feel you.
So
You know what I'm saying? You out there with Willie Snead and Miles Boykin.
yo, Calvin Austin's
But
our second
but y'all
receiver.
got Pickens though. We said we still ain't got a Pickens.
Yo, Pickens, and let's talk about that. He only played 65% of the snaps.
And he was
There's
dogging it too. He was dogging it. I ain't like that. He was
there's a
dogging
lot of tension in the locker room. A lot of I'm getting flashbacks of Antonio Brown. Very bad flashbacks of Antonio Brown.
without the production.
And bro, Pickens is probably a top 15 talent as far as
For
talent
sure.
goes. He's probably top 15. But like not to see that translate into actual numbers is killing me, bro.
It's
And
killing
it's
my
just like
fantasy team too.
yeah, and it looks like I don't know Tomlin kind of maybe losing him, and not to say he's losing a team, but like him and
Been
Pickens just
losing Pickens, yeah.
yeah. So it's like, but we can't afford to lose Pickens because
Oh yeah, lose him. Let him come kick it with us. You know he the top. He the top.
that's
You know how them young
yeah
niggas do with
yeah
them
we know
YNs.
he and that's the thing he would actually fit perfectly in Baltimore, but
Yes.
I don't believe we would ever actually trade to Baltimore.
No,
Um,
no, no. But he'd have to get cut and
yeah,
hold
but
out forever. All of that.
yeah, but two, I think like we don't have a choice other than to keep him because we are so weak at the receiver spot. And then, typically the only thing that can make up for a weak receiver is a strong quarterback. And the only thing that makes up for a weak quarterback is a strong receiver. We don't have a
Receiving core.
very yeah, we don't have a super strong quarterback that just like pushes the ball down the field constantly and can throw us for 250 yards. We don't have that. Um, so losing a huge target, I don't recommend it. I'm not a fan of it. I cannot say that I support it. Be, simply because that we don't have a lot of other options. And then to put on top of that, we have one of the worst running games in football um, from a running back standpoint. So that's a very
Not a fan of
interesting situation to
Naj.
me because he's he's probably a bottom 10 running back, bro. Like, am I wrong?
Hey, I couldn't tell you. I don't watch enough tape on that.
Yes, you do, bro. Like you know who's better. Let's look. I'm looking right now. I haven't found one guy who's better than. Is he better than Zach Moss? No, I don't think so. Joe Mixon, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Travis Etienne, Kareem Hunt,
We say Bigsby.
Bigsby, maybe Javante. I don't think he's better than Javante Williams. J.K.
No,
Dobbins.
stop it, stop it, stop it, stop. He's better than Javante Williams.
All right, bro. He might be better than Zamir. He's better than Zamir White.
All right, Oakland. Shut up. Oh, Las Vegas.
Devin Singletary, no. DeAndre Swift, nope. Bijan might be better than he. I don't think he's better than Rashad White or Bucky Irvin actually. Alvin, Chuba, Jordan
Chuba
Mason,
be running that rock, boy.
and if he might. All right, I just looked at the list. He might be bottom five. No, I'm not. Look, I'm not, and I'm not trying to be funny. There's really good running back play in the NFL this year. Like
Yeah.
it's probably the best it's ever been in a
There's a
while.
lot of teams. You got two guys.
Exactly. So like,
So
this
he
is
ain't
not
better
a
than Justice Hill.
all right, bro. This is not a Bash Najee podcast, but I mean, I just feel very strongly about that shit.
Yeah, let's keep it
So
rolling, bro.
yeah, so Chiefs Saints. The Chiefs are 5-0. I'm not. It's one of the worst 5-0 teams I've ever seen in my freaking life, bro.
I feel like we say this every
I'm
time
not.
they 5-0.
But like, has Patrick Mahomes ever looked this bad at 5-0?
I don't think so. But
And he's
I
doing
mean,
it.
they just getting there, man. You know how it go.
Yeah, now
And
they.
they stacking wins the whole way. So,
That's one thing
but
you gotta admire though. They find a way. No Pacheco, no Rashi Rice, no. They're missing a
no
couple other
Hollywood.
pieces. No Hollywood Brown, and they find a way to be 5-0. Granted, there was some bad calls in between there with the Falcons and the what was that the
Bills.
Bengals? Yeah,
And we stepped out by a toe.
yeah. So it's like I mean the football gods are clearly just on their side, and once you got the football gods on their side, there's not much you can do about that. So I just want to talk about the big. We're not going to talk about every game, but the big games coming up. Commanders, Ravens. I already know who you like in that one. I think
Yeah.
Lamar is the better quarterback. And Jaden Daniels has had a great 5 games, but Chrysler 300 to a Bentley. I like to say it a lot.
So that Bentley pull
Lamar,
up.
Lamar's a motherfucking Bentley, man, and Jaden Daniels is a Chrysler 300. Still, I think he's still very good, but we this is a two-time MVP we're talking about, bro. Right? And for all the passing critics, the nigga led the league in touchdowns for a year, just because he felt like it.
With Willie Snead and Miles Boykin.
Like this different shit, bro. Um, we got the Cardinals and the Packers. I don't know who you like.
Give me the Pack. I think they're gonna. I think they'll be able to run the ball a little bit. And I think Jordan Love going to be able to take advantage of that Cardinals defense that has. They looked pretty solid last week, but those other four have not been good showing. So I think the Pack will.
And Jordan Love he's throwing the ball pretty well, honestly. Uh, Buccaneers Saints division game. You know how that goes, bro. This is
How they go? Give me the
yeah.
Bucks. I think the Saints is they on the way out.
No Derek Carr, Spencer Rattler starting this week.
I think it gets ugly for the young pup.
Yeah, it's hard to call. See how that it's your first game, your first NFL game, and a division game against the Bucks as your first NFL game. That's not the
You
best
know how
situation.
Bake Show want to make you remember forever. You know he want to be honorary
That's
with it.
not that's not the best situation to be in. Then we have the Lions and the Cowboys. Uh,
Yeah, give me the Lions. Cowboys is terrible, and the Steelers lost to them.
I got it the first time, dog.
My fault, gang.
Uh,
My fault.
Bengals Giants. I really, as bad as their records are, I really do think that's going to be actually a good game. Because
Will Danny
the
Dimes
records do not show.
outduel Joe Burrow?
I I'm not going to say that, but like the Giants are competitive. Like as bad as I can't even say they're bad though, because like are they really bad? They messed around and beat the Seahawks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Beat the Seahawks, lost to the Cowboys by 5, lost to the Commanders by 3. They're competitive at the end of the
not a
day.
bad loss now.
Yeah, and that's all you can really ask for. I do think that, but I think this it will be the first game where the Bengals finally kind of get rolling. Like their offense has played well, but they just haven't been able to finish a couple of games. Um, and then the Bills and Jets on Monday sounds like a fucking snooze fest.
Yeah, I was say that's gonna be not a good game.
I'm not betting on the Jets with a brand new coach. Also, Josh Allen's coming off concussion protocol. I don't know. I don't even want to watch that one. I'm gonna stay away from it.
The boy would sleep on the field. Sleep.
It's always a sad thing to see. I want to ask you though, did you hear the new song that J Cole decided to drop?
Nah, I haven't got to it yet. I'm gonna get on it. That's my fault.
Well, it's it's just kind of like we'll talk about it more probably next week. But he's addressing the beef. He didn't. He would have lost a brother, would have gained an enemy. He wouldn't have lost. He don't feel like, but he kind of stepped back when he seen where we're about to go. We get a chance, go listen to it, but there's a lot of strong opinions on it. Um, and me personally, I think he's the best rapper out of the three. I'm not saying he makes the best music or is the best artist, but as far as words, rhymes, schemes, rapping, I don't think there's anybody better. So we'll
Yeah, I
talk
think I'm
about
with
that
you.
next week when you get a chance. Yeah, he's if it gave me that Friday Night Lights feel, like that old Cole over a soul sample.
Yeah.
Hungry Cole. He wants to be the best. Um, it really gave me that feeling. So when you get a chance, go listen to it. And then soon, I know the NHL season started up. coming up, and then we have the NBA coming. It's right around the corner. So soon as I mean, bro, we're getting everything right now, right? We're getting
Oh, it's super
playoff
active right now.
baseball,
It's that time. It's that magical time of year.
middle of football
Everything you
season.
could ever want.
Yeah, NHL just started. NBA. I mean, I don't even know where to turn my like. It's a couple days I'm marking out right now because it's too many sports on, and I cannot have that interrupted. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like last
Like,
night, I think I was watching like 4 games at one time.
yo, I had to. Like, I don't know if there's a better feeling than watching four multiple games at once. Like, if
Lock
that's
man.
what, yeah, bro. It's like I'm not worried about my phone. I'm not worried about eating. I'm just, I'm just here. So, we got all that coming up. Big week of college football. Big week of NFL. Playoff baseball is here. My goodness, the sports are just sporting right now, man. Like, uh, I don't know if that's how you say it, but like you cannot ask for much more at the moment, man. Uh, we'll see y'all next week. New AP top 25. A couple debates are going to be put to an end this weekend, aka Lamar versus Jaden Daniels. Um,
I always want to line whoever up next to my boy, man.
yeah, and
But it's
it's
okay.
like
We just keep knocking them off.
literally, and that's my favorite thing about that. You know, you line some, you say this guy's better than Lamar. What does Lamar do? He whoops his ass. And he's done it in 5 games this year. He's whooped Joe and Josh. So Jaden Daniels, sorry, black man, you're up next. you know, you my brother, and I
Oh
love
man,
you.
we didn't even get real quick. Shout out to the NFL mamas out there.
Oh my god, bro, we didn't have to take it there tonight, bro.
Xavier Worthy mama, I see you.
We didn't have to take it there tonight,
I
bro.
see you. Busting out that denim skirt like that.
Hey, it ain't nothing like
Busting at the seams.
it ain't nothing like a perfect fitting denim skirt.
Busting at the seams, girl. I see you. And
Hey,
Miss Daniels, Miss Daniels with
shout
the
out to
jersey dress.
yeah, that cameraman was on his job that night,
He
man.
was on that.
But it's also like I don't want my mom to have 50,000 followers on Instagram.
It's too late. She came out with that little bitty skirt on. It's over with.
I ain't gonna lie, my dude's got to delete her gram after that shit.
I seen like it was like 3, 4 old heads talking to me about her today at the game. Yeah,
No.
yeah, they own that.
Hey, once you reach the old heads, it's a wrap.
They own that.
Oh, once the old heads get a hold, it's a wrap, man. Damn. So who's my, that was Xavier? Damn.
Yeah,
So we got Jaden Daniels, my man. All right, bro.
all right, bro. Yeah, we
Nah,
doing too much.
yeah,
We
yeah,
doing too much.
yeah, all right. Hey, man, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all next week. Fuck.